Kia ora, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. So we're continuing with the boss one-shot series, and we have got Odin. And Odin is metal. And anyone who is metal gets absolutely raped by Magneto. I mean, don't use that as my tagline. Probably is my tagline. Don't take that as gospel, but 99% out of 99.9% of the time, if they are metal, Magneto absolutely rapes them now that he's buffed. She's just too good. So I can't even remember the buffs on this guy, man. But he has this whole Odin sleep thing. I can't actually remember the difficulty. He's not really too difficult as long as you can evade the SP1 and the SP2. I think he has some unstoppable issues as well. Other than that, I can't really remember the notes. I will remember it as I'm doing the voiceover for this video. But I managed to one-shot this guy with quite a few people, and Magneto was, I want to say, by far the easiest one. Probably by far the easiest one. The fact that you've got that whole magnetized thing, and you're able to just keep a lot of his abilities on lockdown. He can't get that whole Odin sleep or whatever two modes he gets. That you can build up your prowess, that you can throw the SB3. And I mean, look at this. SB3, look at the shrapnel damage. This guy is going to melt down to about half, right? And this is like a Cavalier boss. There you go. Like, yeah, and once that expires, I mean, 70% in like one SB3, right? So yeah, it pretty much takes two of those, and then that's it. This guy is gone. So what I tend to do, oh, that's right, yeah, he cycles between this whole stun immunity, buff immunity, something else I can't quite remember. And that makes him a little bit difficult to nullify sometimes, and it makes him a little bit difficult to parry and block sometimes. I can't remember if he goes unstoppable as well. I think maybe that's part of what made him quite difficult to begin with. So yeah, with Magneto, you have the ability to reduce a lot of that stuff. You have cancel like, I don't know, 80-90% of it, so it doesn't really happen. And the strategy here is quite simple. Go hard until you get to 2 bars of power, build up those prowesses until you get to about 30-35, and then just drop an SP3 and just watch him melt away. I'm gonna stay here, and I'm just gonna watch him melt away. And I mean, the bleeds didn't even expire, but once the bleeds expire, they do a ton of damage on top of the bleed damage that he's taken. As you can see there, very, very easy fight. Never looked like we were going to lose it. He never looked like he had any chance. So if you have Magneto as a 6-star or a high level 5-star, I would highly rate him, and I'd highly recommend you take him into this fight. So yeah, he's got a few interesting notes there. So Doom is another one. He's another really good one for this guy. And I remember the first run through, I didn't actually have such a great time with Doom. And I can't remember why. I think I just assumed that I couldn't power gain or I couldn't nullify, probably because he had one of the Odin forces ready. But if you actually play quite aggressively and play this correctly, you can get into a position, you can get into a cycle where you're able to just do your normal thing with Doom. And I think this is what happened here. I think I fell into a wrong cycle the first time we tried, but from here on in, I was fine, and I'm able to continually power drain, and I'm able to continually stun, and all of that, happens. And as well, he's under Odin Force and under Odin Sleep, or whatever the two modes are. He never activates them, and he's never going to have a chance to activate them because I'm going to keep him stunned and I'm going to keep him in this loop. So if you do have Doom, obviously for any cosmic, actually Doom is generally the answer, but he's really, really good in this one. Now, Symbiote Supreme, if you don't have Doom and you have Symbiote Supreme, he does a decent job. You just have to be a little bit more careful because you don't have the power drain or the power steal that's as reliable as with Doom. So with Doom, you can just keep him in the stun rotation between the SP3 and the SP1. With Symbiote Supreme, you have to throw the SP2 to really steal the power if he gets up there. And if he gets up to SP3, you kind of have no way to just drain it, right? Because he's going to have these times where he's maybe nullify immune, or he's maybe stun immune, and some of your abilities aren't going to work. So the reason I couldn't get into that cycle is because then he just got into that stun immunity, and then all of a sudden, he shakes off the passive stun, and you can't go into the cycle. So you got to wait until that wears out and then carry on, right? It's kind of a similar issue that you have with Cynthia Supreme, because you have that nullify immunity, and while for that 8 seconds he's nullify immune, you're not draining that power. But for the rest of the time, because he's gaining so many buffs so quickly, you're gaining power so quickly, and you're nullifying them, and you're doing shatter damage so quickly. So Symbiote Supreme is a good option. But I didn't manage to one-shot him with Symbiote Supreme. So he's also got Supercharge. I think that was the annoying thing. He's got Supercharge, which means that sometimes he can just rampage on the power. So another option I have, and I really, really like this one, I really enjoyed this one a lot, is Archangel. Don't ask me why. This guy's like one of my favorites, okay? I think he was like my first 4-star rank 3 or something. And man, or maybe he was my first like 3-star rank 4. But anyway, he helped me get through so much content. This guy was just an absolute beast. And ever since then, I've absolutely loved him. And he just does so much damage. If they bleed and they take poison, he's just absolutely insane. So the thing with this is you do have to be a little bit careful, because you don't have a power drain mechanism or a power control mechanism. So you have to bait out some specials. But the cool thing is, once you got the neurotoxins on this guy, you shut down a lot of his abilities as well. So it makes it quite easy. And here he does cooperate with me quite a lot, in pulling his specials and stuff. But you can see there that you're doing almost as much damage really as Magneto is doing, almost as quickly as well. So it's really, really fun. It shuts down that supercharge a little bit, but you just have to be a little bit more familiar with the SP1 and the SP2 to be able to evade them. If you can't evade those two, this is a bit of a walk in the park. And I think this was one of my latter tries, but I think I would have loved to have Archangel a little bit sooner. So the other thing as well is sometimes you'll get the stun immunity, right? Because I've only got 2 neurotoxins, not 3, so I'm not fully shutting down all his abilities. And you just have to be okay with that. You just have to realize, okay, he's stun immune. I'm not going to be able to heavy and parry. Sometimes he's going to go indestructible because he's got that feats node, and that's okay. During those times, I'm just going to dance away, and during those times, I'm just going to bait out the SP1 or the SP2. So here, he's almost done. I've got my SP3, and that gives me like a super long stun. So I figure, hey, you know what? I don't care if he goes to SP3. I'm just going to throw that. He's just got enough stun immunity, so he's not about to go stun immune anytime soon. And while he's stunned, I'm going to just do tons and tons of damage to him and just take him out. That's exactly what happens. And yeah, it becomes a very, very easy fight. So if you're struggling with this guy, these are 3 options that will make this fight really, really simple. And yeah, if you find it useful, share it with your friends, share it with your alliance, give us a thumbs up or leave a comment below. And I'll see you in the next one. Kaki down, no bros and girls.